Hello and welcome everyone to a Portal to StarCraft episode 7 where we're looking at an ever so daunting world of macro and how to train it. When you think StarCraft macro, we, or at least I, were one of those players who were a little obsessed with pressing buttons like there is no tomorrow. And even for me initially, the thought of needing to play rather fast was quite daunting. However, that's where today's video fits. We are going to be looking at some of the drills in order to help the muscle memory of macro you need to create good habits in your play. Today we'll be looking at the Protoss and Terran mechanics, as Zerg is quite different in the way that macro just straight up works. I will do a separate video for the Swarm later on. But before we get into it, I want to ask you a question. What is macro? Well, macro is the ability to produce attacking units, workers, infrastructure, expansions, upgrades, and never get supply blocks all at the same time. Okay, so here we go. The idea is to keep doing the same drill over and over until you become fluent and comfortable before moving on to the next, as each progression adds more complexity. So keep that in mind before you just rush through all these steps. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is make a custom game in preferably a 4-player map, any of your choice in the game. We're going to spawn in as Terran. Okay, so we've loaded into a custom game and we're spawning in as a Terran pieces. I'm going to be doing this one a bit more live because this is more of a explain kind of a tutorial and you need to see what I'm trying to explain too. So we're going to be staring at our base, which is going to be this command center right here. We're going to hotkey the command center to 4 and we're going to make an SCV. We're going to watch that progress bar in the bottom section of my screen until it hits about halfway through the 4 number. And as soon as that happens, we're going to queue up another SCV. So the idea here is to continuously keep making workers and just never ever let that queue ever be empty. And the idea also is you don't want to be making a whole heap of workers simultaneous like this, because these 2 SCVs right here are minerals that you could be spending elsewhere. So that is the very minimal thing. This is step 1 I'm doing right now. And what you're about to see, because I was concentrating so hard on the bottom, and there goes Phoenix, is where supply block. So here's the other part of this step 1. We want to be making supply depot. So up in the top right hand corner you do see this number right here, which is 15 of 15 at the moment. We want to keep that not maxed out. So a little bit before every time it goes to max, you want to be queuing up a supply depot and then shift click your worker back to the mineral line so it can continue mining once again, And as soon as this supply depot is complete, it's going to go back into creating these workers again. So this is the very bare minimum. You're just going to literally don't move the camera, stare right here, and as soon as that bar goes between that 4, queue up another SCV. Easy stuff. So let's jump into part 2. In part 2, this is the idea. We're going to literally look away from our base. So I'm going to just have my camera in a random spot on this map. And I'm going to queue up the number 4, which is my command center once again. We're going to keep an eye on the supply. We're going to keep an eye on the progress bar down at the bottom of my screen. As soon as the SCV goes between the middle part of the number 4 of the queue, hit another one, and we're going to let it queue up. So this is the idea of just not having to keep your focus on the main screen the whole time. You don't need to have your eyes on your main base at all points in order to macro efficiently. As soon as you can get to that, you queue up another one and you're good. And this really feeds well into doing multitasking. And we see that we got 20 of 23 supply, jump back, hit the supply depot, go back again. And if you are wondering about how I'm moving my camera around so quickly, I do have all my location keys set up so that F1 through F4 of my base is 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as you get between the 4 number, go queue up another one, and that is, we are done. Just keep doing this for about 5-10 minutes until this becomes really easy and really fluent, which I believe shouldn't take you too long. Okay, so now look at step 3. The idea with step 3 is we're going to bring a little SCV guy and hotkey him to 1 and bring him to the middle of the map. So it's just in a random spot on the map, we're just chilling in the center part. The idea now is we're going to be doing a little bit more multitasking. We're going to just keep this guy moving, just keep him moving the whole time. This is just very simple. Just keep, if you do spawn on this map, just keep him going around this little center point. We're going to queue up an SCV, and we're going to keep flicking back to number 4 to check the progress bar. So we go back to 4, we see it's about halfway complete. Keep the guy moving, do not let him stop moving. As soon as we get between the 4, go back, queue up another one, and then go back into moving this guy around again. Keep an eye on our supply, keeping an eye on that. Go back, check it. No, we don't need to make another one just yet. Go back, check it. We're nearly there, and queue up another SCV, and we're all good. Keep moving him around. Don't stop letting this guy move around. And we see we don't have to go back to base in order to queue up another worker. Just keep this guy going around and around and around. Check it. Oh, we got really close that time. And we're going to flick it back. Flick it. No, that's one's just starting. Keep going, keep going. How's my supply looking? We're at 46. That's okay. Keep this guy moving. Flick it. We're just about to make another SCV. There goes another queue, and we're going to keep this guy moving around. You can get to the habit of spamming it so you go between the two really quite quickly. And I can see that rather swiftly that I don't need to. Oh, there we go. We need to make another one right there. And we're going to pretend if we do need to make a supply depot right now, we're going to flick back, queue him up, go back, double hit 1 to go back to the SCV, and then go back into macroing again. This is step 3, and this might take a little while. Let's just keep this guy still. But this may take a little while for you guys to get your head around because it is something that requires a little bit of coordination and just straight up practicing. But it's something that is very, very doable, and I know you guys can do it, and this little guy believes in you too. Alright, in step 4, we have this barracks I've just produced here. And now I've hotkeyed my barracks, as you can see on these little tabs down the bottom, to number 5. So I've got my command center on 4, my barracks on 5, command center 4, barracks 5. Cool. And the idea we put them closely like this is because you're about to see this gets a little bit hectic. Without moving the camera once again, we're going to be going back to stationary. We're going to hit 4, queue up an SCV, hit 5, queue up a Marine. And the idea here is we're going to keep checking between the two of these to make sure neither of them stop producing. As soon as we get between the 4, we're going to queue up another SCV. And the Marines, as you can tell, take a little bit longer to make, but as soon as it gets between the 4, queue up another Marine. And we're just going to keep doing this, keep flicking, going between, constantly checking if we have our supply maxing out. No, we don't. SCV completes, and the Marines, they take a little bit longer. And this is how this particular step works. Keep flicking between the two, make another Marine, make another SCV, and we just constantly keep making. And this is where people get a lot of fast armies out because they just macro. That's step 4. So step 5, we're going to get these 2 Marines. Let's bring the SCV back, and we're going to move these guys to the middle of the map. Cool, so we've got our 3 little Marines in the middle of the map. We're going to hit 4, we're going to queue up an SCV, hit 5, queue up a Marine. Select the Marines, which are now hotkeyed to 1, and keep them moving. Now we're going to have to keep, with my 2 fingers, I'm going to flick between 4 and 5 and keep checking it. SCV is nearly completed. Queue up another SCV and keep these guys moving. The Marine's nearly done. Queue up another Marine. Keep the Marines in the middle of the map moving. Checking supplies. Supplies looking okay for now. The SCVs are coming close. As soon as we get between the 4, queue up another SCV. Keep going around. Keep going. It's okay. We're doing okay. This is fine. Keep checking between them. Marines coming up close now. And the idea is you want to start the checking really slowly. We need an SCV right there. We're going to go 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Yeah, that's cool. And we know we have a little bit of time in order before we have to do another queue up. Keep checking. 4, 5, 4, 5. There we go. Set it up. Queue up another one. Here we go. So now we notice our supply is getting pretty close. Oh, we have to make another Marine. So our supply is getting pretty close. So I'm going to hit F1, grab an SCV, make another supply depot, go back to my Marines and keep going. Oh, SCVs are coming close. Oh, that one was a close one. We made a little mistake there. And we're going to keep these little guys moving and keep doing this when it gets a little bit more complicated. Cool, there's step 5 done and dusted. That's all you need to do. And you'll notice that a lot of the time you need to be looking at the bottom segment of your screen. You're not really taking too much attention up top, but this bottom segment is where most of your attention is being spent. Alright, and this is where level expert hits. We're going to split these Marines into Control Group 1 and Control Group 2. I'm going to send Control Group 1 Marines down here, Control Group 2 Marines up here, as you can see on the mini-map. So this particular one may be something that even I struggle with. I've not trained this for a little while now. I haven't trained macro training like this for quite some time and multitasking. So I got my Marines number 1 down here, Marines number 2 up here. Alright, so this is the aim of the game once we get these guys up here. So now you can see that I have 4 control groups to macro and micro around. I'm going to go to my control group 1. I'm going to keep these guys moving. Go to control group 2, queue up one of them, queue up one of them. Keep these guys moving, keep these guys moving, keep these guys moving. We keep flicking between the 2. Keep them moving around. Clicking between the 2, we need an SCV. Go through. We don't need a Marine yet. We don't need a Marine yet. We don't need a Marine yet. SCV is ready. Oh, I made a mistake there. That's okay. So we're actually flicking between these 2 really quickly now. 1, 2, 3, going between, just quickly flicking. That one doesn't need to be queued up just yet. Keep flicking. We keep moving really quite quickly now. And we'll find that you won't be able to slip it up, but as soon as it needs to be done, I need to move a lot faster now in order to check the two structures here. I'm going to keep them moving around, keep them moving around, keep them going. Keep them going as much as humanly possible. SCV, Marine, keep it going. And this is when the strict rule of don't make another unit until we go halfway between the 4 number can be a little bit less important, because this is when your multitasking really starts to get trained. I'm checking my minimap constantly. I am actually looking at my supply right now, and I do know I need to make another supply depot, come back to the armies, and just keep them flicking. And the other way you can do this is just use your minimap. So you can just keep checking through the minimap, keep checking minimap, keep these guys moving, keep these guys moving, keep these guys moving. And I'm literally controlling these 2 unit producing structures, if you look at my minimap right now, purely via my minimap. Keep checking, queue them up, keep them moving, keep them moving, keep them moving, keep them moving. And this is something that will take a lot of practice, and this will simply start training up your muscle memory now. So I'm moving them around, moving them around. I'm going to move the camera just then, keep flicking, then we need another one there. And then if you really want to go to like level expert, you can just queue up another one. Now I have 3 control groups of Marines, and you can use and control all 3 of them simultaneously. And then from there, what you need to do is you start adding producing structures in, and that will up the difficulty once again. We have a lot of SCVs here, like a lot of SCVs. And then if you start adding unit producing structures, then it just becomes a little bit more complex, and you need to start doing it multiple bases. Then you start doing upgrades and that sort of stuff. But that is simply how you just begin to start training macro in StarCraft 2. It is not the easiest of skills to get your head around. It's not user friendly. It's not very user intuitive, but with a little bit of practice, it becomes very fluent, very natural, and I'm sure you guys can do it quite easily. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below and sub to the channel. It does help out a ton. And if you'd like support further than YouTube, in the description down below is my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Check them all out. But as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.